2024 meeting of the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. All of you stand with us, please. Our chaplain, Commissioner Romel McMurry, will lead us in our prayer and our pledge. Commissioner McMurray.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this glorious day. We thank you for this brand new year that you've allowed us all to be in. With every new start brings new attitudes, new mindsets, new resolutions, and yes, new challenges. But we thank you for allowing us to share this space which you have created for all of us. We know that the world may think differently, but we must remain steadfast and on course. As I often say, Lord, continue to give us leaders the wisdom to do what's best for all of Rutherford County. May you give us the strength and patience throughout the year. Let us remember that people can tell a bad leader from a good leader by how we treat people who may disagree with us all. I ask that you continue to watch over those individuals that keeps us safe here at home and abroad. We are always forever grateful for our public safety officials. As I close, let us remember the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. The ultimate measure of a man or a woman is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. If we cannot fly, then we run. If we cannot run, we walk. If we cannot walk, we crawl. But whatever we do, allow us to keep moving forward. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. This time I'll call on our Rutherford County Clerk, Lisa Crowell, to call the roll, please, Lisa.
Commissioner Oliver.
Present.
Commissioner Piercy.
Here.
Commissioner Rather.
Here.
Commissioner P.
Here.
Commissioner Davison.
Here.
Commissioner Beverly.
Here.
Commissioner Cush.
Present.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner James.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Commissioner Anthony Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here.
Paul Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Irvin.
Here.
Commissioner Harris. Commissioner Dodd.
Present.
Chairman Phillips.
Present.
Commissioner McAdoo. Commissioner McMurray.
Here.
Commissioner Gooch.
Here.
Commissioner Serena.
Here.
We have 21 present.
Thank you, Lisa. Time I'll call on our Chairman Pro-Tem for the reading and the approval of our December meeting minutes. Trey Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have reviewed the minutes and find everything to be in order. My motion is approve them.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve our December meeting minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. Public comments. We've had one individual to sign up, Carl Burning. His topic will be the Steering Committee Legislative Meeting. Mr. Burning, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Carl Burning. I live on Herschel-Hudson Road in Las Casas. My topic is the observations of last night's meeting in this room. I found out that our legislatures don't want resolutions on topics. They want finely crafted legislations presented to them. They want our desired legislation by August of each year. They reminded that they work part-time. Oh, wait a minute. All 20 of you all work part-time. I guess that's not a point then. They also remind us that there's 400 plus lobbyists competing for their time. I'm guessing that all those lobbyists don't need to see all 7 of our representatives. Why would you want an oil lobbyist want to see somebody on the Education Committee? Maybe they do, I don't know. And I would like to thank Will Denami for his presentation last night. It was excellent in my opinion. Now, recommendations. This is just mine, nobody else's. Each of our commissioners, you all, standing committees, should have recommendations for needed legislation to be discussed and ready to turn in by the end of April each year. This may also need to apply to each working departments of our county. We have several attorneys around and may be able to assist. Perhaps our county attorney could give a primer on drafting legislation to at least one member of each committee. It could be televised it could be a televised work session to avoid conflicts. Personally, any legislation I would recommend be delivered to the legislature's office. Excuse me, I lost my place. I did this about 20 minutes here, scribbling. I would recommend that we try to separate ourselves by population or percentage of growth, something along those lines, so that we separate ourselves from the smaller 95 counties and don't put our needs on them through legislation. Our needed legislation should, say, apply to 10 or fewer counties, I would think. Each legislation draft should be delivered to each legislature's office and/or home by special delivery, requiring a signature to ensure that each prompt and timely communication has been met for their needs, as they stated last night. If my comments reflect any sarcasm or dissatisfaction, please attribute them all to me and not to anybody in any other association. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burning. This time, we've got a very special welcome to our community. Our new MTSU football coach, Derek Mason, is here, and I'll call on Commissioner Pettus Reed, which is a distinguished alumni of MTSU, to make the introduction. While the coach is coming up, I'd like to say thank goodness we hired him before Alabama announced the resignation of
Yes, today was an interesting day where we've got a university that's got someone leaving, but yet tonight we get to introduce somebody that's here. And I'm so glad to make that introduction. You must understand, you see that I'm a little bit blue. In fact, I think if you cut me, I'd bleed blue, but you got to know my background. My grandfather went to Normal, the first MTSU out there. My mother went to MTSU. My great-grandfather gave them some of the land for the university out there. My mother told me at a very young age that I was going to MTSU, as well as a brother and sister. We all three went to MTSU. You'd like to know, my son and daughter went to MTSU, as I went to MTSU. I even took my grandchildren over there for preschool. So we believe in the university out there and what it means. And commissioners, it's a part of Rutherford County. There are so many counties out here that would love to have that university out there. And as far as that football team's concerned, I brought my cap tonight. And Coach, my wife used to call me the mailman of the MTSU football team because I showed up whether rain, sleet, or snow, and sometime hail, and during losing seasons. But I was there. I have 6 seats on row 12, section R, in the blue seats. And if you look up there, you'll find my cap whenever you get a chance to, because I'm right behind you. And I'm behind you in more ways than you think. I'm behind that team and what we can do out there, but I'm also behind MTSU. Tonight, we're proud to have Coach Derek Mason, who has coached at Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Oklahoma State. He has served as a TV analyst. So he also not only knows coaching, he also can talk football. With his experience as a head coach, his reputation for coaching fast, aggressive defenses, his strong reputation as a recruiter, and deep connections in college football to formulate an outstanding staff, we're looking forward to a new era in Blue Raider football. So I won't go on anymore, but I want to say tonight, as a county commission, we welcome MTSU's 15th head coach to the county and wish him well. Coach Mason.
Truly, thank you. To the Rutherford County Commissioners, I mean, this is awesome. This is fantastic. I've had a chance to see some of these faces throughout my short time here in Murfreesboro, and what I can tell you is the place is infectious. The energy is sort of ridiculous just in terms of what I've experienced. And I want to share just a couple of thoughts or things with you, just that I've been able to glean just a little bit. It started with our student athletes. And let me say this, Rutherford County, as you well know, has some of the most talented high school preps programs, okay, in this state, period. Okay, I've been in this state for a while. When I wasn't at this, when I wasn't at Vanderbilt, I was at Stanford, and before that, and we came to Tennessee to recruit players. So, I mean, I've been in here before. This is not new. But when I had a chance to talk to our football team, and they relayed to me what their thoughts were about fans and what's going on, I just asked them all one question: what have you done for this community? Like, truthfully. Because young people in this day and age of NIL and being self-absorbed with the idea of what social media brings to their attention, what they don't understand is that it's not about them. It's really not. Energy begets energy. That's really what it's about. It's about the opportunity to impact, okay? And we have to impact the community. I told them, we're going to serve. That's what we're going to do. My job as a servant is to give a better product back to parents than the one they drop off. That's what it starts with. I'm an educator by trade. So for me, I truly understand that getting it wrong costs too much. As a coach, as a parent, as an educator. But I think when we look at what this community is, it's proud. Rutherford County is proud. It's proud of its traditions, its schools, its athletic history. MTSU is proud. I'm proud to be the head coach at MTSU, but it's bigger than that. Our football team will have a chance to impact, grow, change the perception, dive into, educate. We'll do all these things by just serving, because that's our job. Our job is to serve, so we're going to serve this community. And hopefully what we can ask you to do is in doing so, join us. Help us. This place is special. I remember being at a place in Athens, Ohio, 2002, with a football coach by the name of Frank Solich, who was fired from Nebraska, 10-3. So that was the standard, being fired, going 10-3. He takes a year off. He goes to a place called Ohio University. Okay, that place had never won, had never had any success. Very little. It took 2 years for Coach Solich to turn that place around, but when he turned it around, it never looked back. 18 bowl games later, in 20 years, 18 bowl games later, it changed the community. It rallied behind it. Okay, and now that community thrives. This community doesn't need MTSU. Okay, MTSU needs it. So, man, we're going to serve. We're going to work extremely hard to make sure that we give you a product that's a winner. I don't guarantee wins. What I guarantee you is that we work hard because we're blue collar. And every day, we're just going to chop wood. We're going to get out there. We're going to pitch posts. We're going to bale hay. We're going to chop wood. And we're going to get in front of you and make you proud. So when you get a chance to see our football team, it's going to be fully representative of Rutherford County in this area, okay, just in terms of what it is. I thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing your faces. Let's go blue.
Coach, before you sit down,
Yes.
you'll probably at some time go before the city council over here, and they'll give you one of those keys to the city. Now, we don't have a key to the county, but I'm going to give you something right here. If you'll look at these guys right here, they're wearing a pin to the county.
Yes, sir.
That badge right there will get you anywhere in this county you want to go.
I'll wear it with honor. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Mason, for being here, and thank you, Commissioner Reed, for that introduction. Next on our agenda is recognition for the Blackman Homeschool Group, and I'll call on our Smyrna Commissioner, Joshua James.
Thank you, Chairman. If y'all remember that last month during
Joshua. Front and center.
Forgive me, I always dread the moment because I am short. I have to move this. If y'all remember last month during our other business, I mentioned, or shout outs, I mentioned that the Blackman Homeschool Group was hosting an event for young entrepreneurs within their homeschool group. And that I advised everybody you might want to attend, it'd be something to look at. What you don't know is my background is I too went to MTSU, and I was president of the Collegiate Entrepreneurship Organization. So it struck a nerve at me when I heard about it, so I chose to go. I was pleasantly surprised. There were dozens of booths with young innovators, with business plans, business ideas. They were very well informed, and it put some of the group that I'm sad to say at MTSU that I went through to shame in several ways. So I wanted to take a chance and acknowledge them and bring them up for the value that they had. Because like the coach just mentioned, the impact that this community can have and that we can have on the community, these homeschool families have that. They have impact across the board. So at this moment, I'd like to introduce the host of that event, Abby Merriman, and let her explain to you the details about this event and some of the kids and their tasks that they put together.
Okay, hello, my name is Abby Merriman. This is like MTSU night, and I also graduated from MTSU, so go blue. So I founded the Blackman Homeschoolers Co-op group in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So we just recently did a business fair for the children. In order for them to be able to participate in this fair, they had to apply with a full business plan. So this included obtaining their financing, a marketing and strategy plan, how they were going to price out their items, and then what they were going to sell and what they were going to sell it for. During the event, we had anonymous judges that are current business owners right here in Middle Tennessee that walked around and judged these kids based on 3 different age groups, which is 6 to 8, 9 to 11, and 12 and up. They also judged them with 3 different criteria. So this business potential, so would this be successful in the real world? It also on their creativity, so are they just reselling or are they inventing, designing, or creating their items? And then also on their presentation. So are they taking money and payment from their customers? Are they interacting well with their customers? And so these are some of our winners. So they're going to tell you a little bit. Can you?
My name's Audrey Christman, and I sold some slime at the fair. And I sold slime because I just like making slime in general, and I think it's a fun thing to do.
And she won first place, didn't you? Okay.
Hi, I am Lucy Bertram, and at the business fair I was known as the feed bag fashionista, and I take old feed bags like this one, put that right there, and turn them into durable, cute tote bags like this one. And I have saved around 100 feed bags from landfill. And the money that I have gotten from my business is going towards my first mission trip with my church to the Dominican Republic this summer.
Hi, my name's Tyler Witt. I made pop-up cards. Thank you. I started making these just for friends and family, and then I started selling them to some people at my dad's work. And then I've always wanted to expand and just create a bigger business, and this business fair gave me that opportunity.
So we do have a few more business fair participants in the back if you guys just want to wave so everyone kind of gets a little bit of recognition.
Stand up.
You can stand up.
Stand up.
So we actually had almost 30 homeschool kids participate in this. It was our first one. We plan to do it every year, and Lord willing, it will continue to grow as our homeschool community grows. So thank you for letting us come and recognize the hard work that was put into this event by these kids.
Several of these children had plenty of different ideas, from, as you saw, the slime and tote bags to woodworking to bracelets and jewelry and even some really nice artwork. There's several different ventures that they were all across the board doing, and it was showing that we have a really large community out there of real good innovators with really skilled parents educating their children about these different tasks. So as we are looking at for more applied sciences and technical trades and so forth, that is a very good area to focus on and pay attention to. And I would urge each of you to reach out in your community for fellow homeschool families in this case. So thank you for allowing me to introduce them. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner James. Thank you. Next on our list, some of you are probably wondering what this is. Our Chairman Pro-Tem Trey Gooch and I have had some conversation about us as a commission knowing what some of our departments do, what their jobs are, let alone the general public. So we've come up with this idea that maybe not every month, but most every month, we'll introduce a department head, let that department head explain a little bit about him or her and what their department does and what their function is and their relationship to county government. So with that introduction, I've also given, in my way of delegating, which I have a skill of delegating. In my way of delegating, our Chairman Pro Tem has undertaken this assignment, and it's his decision as to who to invite month after month. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Chairman Pro Tem Trey Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, if you do not serve on public safety, there's quite a few department heads that you may not know or have interacted with. If you do not serve on public works, there's quite a few department heads that you may have never met. Property management, steering, and so forth. And so each month we'll have a department head to talk about their department. Not only would that benefit us, but I think it would extremely benefit the viewing audience on what their county government does. So with that, Chief Larry Farley is the first fire chief of Rutherford County for Fire and Rescue Department, which was established on July the 1st, 2010. Chief Farley's career in his fire service began in 1989 as a volunteer fire department in Rutherford County. He was appointed by Mayor Ernest Burgess as a fire coordinator for Rutherford County on April the 1st, 2008. On July the 1st, 2010, Chief Farley was appointed Fire Chief of the Rutherford County Fire Rescue Department. As the first county fire chief, he was charged with building an organization from the ground up. This included establishing cohesive and standard training, developing new safety programs, providing effective fire suppression response, increasing efficiency, procuring new apparatus and equipment, and providing vehicle rescue throughout Rutherford County. Chief Farley has led the department from its beginning as an all-volunteer fire department to a full-time fire and rescue service. In 2019, the Rutherford County EMS Special Operations Team was merged with the Rutherford County Fire and Rescue, adding in Chief Farley's goal of creating an all-hazard fire department. Beginning with a single station in 2010, Chief Farley has added 4 more stations with 97 full-time firefighters. And 4 additional fire and EMS stations are currently in various phases of planning and construction. Chief Farley has 34 years in the fire service with 20 years of leadership and management experience, has obtained the highest fire officer certification in the state of Tennessee as Fire Officer 4. Chief Farley is a member of several organizations such as the Rutherford County Fire Chief Association, Tennessee Firemen Association, Tennessee Fire Chief Association, International Association of Fire Chiefs, Tennessee Chapter of International of Arson Investigation, Tennessee Fire Safety Inspectors Association, Tennessee Homeland Security Council, and past president of Middle Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association. You've been very busy, and so for that we appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Larry Farley.
Commissioner Gooch pretty much said what all I got to say. I think he wrote my speech, but I have the honor of serving as the fire chief of Rutherford County Fire Rescue, and I answer directly to the county mayor. And like he said, I have 15 years with Rutherford County. I've been really enjoyed working with the county. I enjoy working with the commission. I enjoy working with public safety. The first 4 years, and like he said, I was going to bring up about the resolution. The county commission passed a resolution in 2010, and combining 3 volunteer fire departments and rescue squad. I was only paid employee at that time. The first 4 years of the county fire department, all of our firefighters were volunteers. Volunteer firefighters have covered the county since 1974. They provide a great service to their communities, and we are thankful for the service that they provide and still provide. I became a volunteer firefighter in 1989. May of 2014, we received a federal grant from the federal government for 12 full-time firefighters. At that time, we hired 12 full-time firefighters and made Barfield a staff station. In 2010, when we started this journey, the county ran a total of 1,306 calls for service in the county. This past year, we have answered over 9,731 calls for service. Rutherford County Fire Rescue has 97 employees and 18 volunteers. We operate with 3 shifts. We have an A, B, and C shift, and each shift has a shift commander that manages all of our personnel and operations on that shift. Our shifts, we start out at 24/48, but all of our firefighters now work 48 hours, 2 days on and 4 days off. And this is something we voted on about a year or 2 ago, which has been very beneficial. After they work 2 full days, they have 4 days off. Families feel like they have more time with their families. And also what it does, our guys, even with EMS, encounter a lot of difficult things through their shifts. They see a lot of things that most people don't need to see. And that 4 days gives them time to debrief, relax, and kind of clear their mind. And they said by the 3rd day, they're ready to come back to work. So they have that 4th day off, and it's really made a big difference in their mental health and their physical health too. So I'm very thankful we were able to do that with y'all's permission. We have 5 fully staffed stations, 1 volunteer station. The new Las Casas Public Health and Safety Building is almost complete. The Walt Hill station should be through around probably April. I think the last gas station will be complete around the 1st of March. We are all hazards fire department. Our primary job is to bring calm in the middle of chaos. We respond to fires, brush fires, structure fires, vehicle fires. We provide medical first response. We do vehicle rescue, hazmat response, rope rescue, whether it be high angle or low angle rescue. Swiftwater rescue is the most common rescue because of localized flooding. Anytime we have heavy rains, we have a lot of flooding in different areas of this county, and our guys respond with a rubber boat and their full gear, which protects them in the water, because you have a lot of sewer water and stuff that comes out of that, so it protects them. And we make sure every one of our all 97 are trained in Swiftwater, because that's something that affects us around here more than anything. We have a dive team that has recovered weapons and other evidence from ponds and lakes from law enforcement, and they also dive to recover drowning victims. We also respond to any type of structural collapse, trench rescue, animal rescue, and we have drone capabilities that we've been able to locate many missing people. We just hired 17 recruit firefighters, and we're conducting our own recruit class, which is made of 14 weeks. By us doing this, it saves the county over $31,023 in training costs. The State Fire Academy charges $1,824 per person. Our recruits are trained to firefighter 2 level. They receive 80 hours of EMR, which is emergency medical responder training. When they go through this class and they take a written test to the state, then they achieve their medical license. Because medical is a lot important to what we do. Our training captain, Paula Todd, ensures that all of our medical training and medical license are up to date. She oversees all of our fire department certifications and coordinates the state firefighting commission to ensure that our recruits receive credit for the 560 hours of training that they go through to become a firefighter. Captain Todd also teaches CPR, EMR, EMT, AMT, and paramedic classes. Assistant Chief Joshua Sanders oversees our fire marshal's office and performs plans reviews on all new construction. He does inspections on all commercial buildings, ensuring that they are all fire code compliant. The Fire Marshal's Office also investigates all fire, arson, and explosive incidents in the county. Fire Marshal Sanders also serves on the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Task Force, which that's a federal agency, and also provides a lot of resources to him when we're investigating fires in Rutherford County. And he performs all of our public education. And that pretty much sums it up, unless anybody's got any questions. But I want to thank this commission for supporting us and always standing behind us, and always giving us the tools and the equipment and the stations to be able to do our job. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Farley. Next on our agenda is public hearings. We have no public hearings tonight, and I'm not sure that Mr. DeMossi's here. I don't see him. I was going to give him the opportunity to update us on some things, but he's not here. So next on our agenda is elections and confirmations. I'll call on our steering vice chair, Commissioner Pettus Reed.
Commissioners, we'll begin with item 1, the election of notaries. Listings of the notaries may be found on your iPad. You also received information on this earlier in the week. They come through SharePoint. Mr. Chairman, I move to confirm the election of these individuals as Rutherford County notaries.
We have a motion and a second to confirm the list of notaries. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries.
Item 2, steering would like to confirm Charlie Teasley to the Community Care of Rutherford County Board of Directors to fill a retiring member's term to expire July 1, 2024. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to confirm Mr. Teasley to the CCR Board. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Item 3, steering would like to confirm Veronica Buchanan for the one farm woman vacancy on the Agriculture Advisory Board. This is a 2-year term to begin January 2024 and expire January 2026. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second.
Commissioner Johnson? Say it loud. Yes. Commissioner Johnson asked that we recognize him to second it, and I want to make sure that he got recognized. Outstanding job. Good job. We have a motion and a second to confirm Veronica Buchanan as the farm woman vacancy. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? That motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Item 4, steering wishes to confirm Commissioner Beverly to the Agriculture Advisory Board to fill a commissioner vacancy. This is a 2-year term beginning January 2024 and expires January 2026. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
We have a motion and several seconds to confirm Commissioner Beverly to the Agricultural Advisory Board. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Motion to affirm carries. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, this concludes the business for elections and confirmation.
Thank you, Commissioner Reed. Item J, resolution to approve the consent agenda. I'll call on our Chairman Pro-Tem Trey Gooch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have reviewed the consent agreement and find them to be in order. Motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion and a second to approve our consent agenda. Any questions? Any comments? For this will be on the board. If you would, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
21 yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. We're getting to our standing committee reports. First up is Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee. Chairman Robert P.
Also want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. We've got one item under consideration tonight, and I'll go ahead and read this resolution. It's actually 2 items from the school board. The first is $6,400 that was donated to the schools for chess, and the other is funding for the Beatty property, and that's covering site work, architectural, and engineering, and that's on the Beatty property site. Resolution, be it resolved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners that the General Purpose School Fund be amended according to the schedule attached hereto as Exhibit 1 and incorporated herein by reference as if set forth herein at length verbatim. Resolved this 11th day of January 2024. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I have a motion and a second to approve this amendment to the General Purpose School Fund budget. Questions? Seeing none, we'll be on the board. Please cast your vote. Commissioner Oliver, waiting on you. I'm sorry, say that again.
My apologies. What you said and what I'm reading right here looks different, so I was just a little confused.
Motion was to approve general purpose school fund budget amendments. I think there were two of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, and I saw the one for the 6,400.
The other was about $3.4 million for the site development at the Beatty Property School, also engineering and architectural work, as I stated earlier.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote. (21 yes).
21 yes.
Appears that that passes unanimously. Item M1 from Budget Committee passes unanimously. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes our business tonight. I will mention that our next regular meeting is February the 8th for Budget Committee. Thank you.
Commissioner Oliver, I'd like to give you the opportunity to ask a question, although we've already voted. Is there something that you would like clarification on?
In the initial reading, I didn't hear 3.4 million. It was just 600,000. So then when I saw that, it just kind of threw me off when I saw the 3.4 million, because that's not what was initially stated when you brought the vote forward.
I think that was the motion that came out of Health and Ed and then out of Budget both. Thank you. Item M2, Public Safety Committee, Chairman Pettus Reed.
Mr. Chairman, we have no report, but our next meeting date will be January the 22nd of this month at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you. M3, Health and Education Committee, Chairman Phil Dodd.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No report. Our next meeting will be January 23rd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. in room 205.
Thank you, Chairman. Item M4, Property Management Committee, Chairman Allen McAdoo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Property management have no report tonight. Our next meeting is January the 25th at 5:30 p.m. and we will not have a 3:30 tour the 25th.
Thank you. Probably good because it's so cold outside. I'm not sure I'd show up anyway. Item M5, Public Works and Planning, Chairman Anthony Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have no report tonight. Our next meeting will be February 6th. And that's a correction from our meeting when I said February 2nd. It's February 6th.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item M6, Steering Legislative and Governmental Committee, Chairman Craig Harris.
Mr. Chairman, we do not have a report. Our next meeting will be February 5th, 2024. And if I can, for just a second, let everybody know we had our delegate meeting last night. It was a challenge, and it was something that came out of them is they want more communication with us. So as your chairman, I will work on that, and we'll find ways that we can better communicate with them. And if you have any questions or if you have any ideas, please call me or send me an email. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item N, other business. I've asked our county mayor, Joe Carr, to bring us up to date on our Help Rutherford effort, and also to kind of bring us up to date on our resolution as it relates to what we passed back in December, if I believe it was, for the our legislative committee. So I've asked Mayor Carr to come and make his bring us up to date on what's happening there. Mayor Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's been an eventful 30 days since this commission passed the resolution. I'm not sure the exact date, Mr. Chairman. I guess it was sometime in the middle of December. And so this commission passed the resolution asking for our delegation and the Tennessee General Assembly to give you the same authority as the 4 municipalities in Rutherford County already have, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, and Eagleville, along with the counties adjacent to Rutherford County, Williamson and Wilson. That resolution, as you know, passed 20-1. Subsequent to that resolution on 12/18, the delegation held a meeting with with the mayor, some of the staff, and some of the members of the commission out at the Chamber of Commerce, and we got to hear a number of points of view on the issue. I think the thing that stuck with me on that meeting, other than the fact that the commissioners and I think the mayor's staff did an excellent job in making the case. I really do. As a matter of fact, I had a number of people come up to me afterward and talk about the professionalism, the way we directed our answers to the question, and quite honestly, just how forthright we were in our answers, which is a credit to the issue, to be quite honest. But the takeaway that I had from that particular meeting was at the very, very end when the president of the Home Builders Association said, there is no compromise, there is no negotiation, and there is no give on this issue with regard to the home builders, both locally and at the statewide level. And I have to tell you, if I may, at a personal level, I walked out of there thinking there wasn't much hope to move forward. If one of the principal partners in any negotiation was saying there's no ability to compromise or negotiate, who are you left to compromise and negotiate with? Because since we first started this after I was sworn in, I'm telling you, we spent a lot of time, the mayor's office, the county commission, negotiating with ourselves. And it seems like we're just treading water. But I will say, hope, real hope, was rekindled after last night. And I do want to recognize and acknowledge Chairman Harris. It was a difficult task. I was here, and I wouldn't have been up there for a lot of money. I just wouldn't have been. But he managed it well, professionally. It was a challenge. But the hope that came out of that was the approach I received from the business leaders, business community, that a deal can be done. And so I wanted to share that with you. Last night, the steering committee and the delegation received a binder or an envelope like this. I hope you've had, if you were at the steering committee, if you received that, if you've gone through that. We gave one to every member of the steering committee, and I believe some of the commission members that were here also received one. If you in the commission did not receive one and you want one, Lisa Kay has a folder for you with the materials inside, so if you'll pick that up on your way out, she has that for you. So if you'll just see Lisa Kay if you don't have one, or maybe if you misplaced yours, you can get another, okay? But it's important that you get this because the folder starts with the resolution. It's a chronological series of events. It starts with the resolution, your resolution that said, hey, we want the authority, the same authority, no more, no less than what you've already granted as a legislative body, that is the Tennessee General Assembly, that you've already granted Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, and Eagleville, and Williamson and Wilson County. We want that same authority. And I think that's a very reasonable request, given that we know that Rutherford County is the 43rd fastest growing county in the nation, and certainly the fastest growing county in the state. You heard me say it many times, 9,000 to 10,000 new residents every year. And when those new residents come here, they expect and deserve the same services that every one of us expect and deserve. So how do we pay for that? That's the question. I want to call your attention to, if you have it, or if you don't, the last page of what was in the folder, because there were a number of things spoken in error. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. There were a number of things said in error that were in error last night. Number one, this legislation, if the delegation had bothered to review it, if they had asked about it, is a Rutherford County only piece of legislation. It has no effect or impact on the rest of the state, the other 94 counties. This is a Rutherford County only piece of legislation. This legislation was developed and worked on by myself and Will Denami and attorneys out of Nashville. So the idea that it takes 3 to 4 weeks to get legislation out of legislative services, I can tell you, as serving in the Tennessee General Assembly for 6 years, it never took 3 to 4 weeks to get anything out of legislative services. Sometimes it takes 3 to 4 days, but never 3 to 4 weeks. And the point I'm making here is this legislation is draft ready to take to legal services that they can probably turn around in 3 or 4 hours. Okay? So that's point number one. Point number two, there was a personal attack on Will Denami and his efforts on behalf of you and me to represent this county and its interests to ensure that we have the exact same authority as the cities of this county and the adjacent counties to Rutherford County. I am here to tell you that man has worked tirelessly, hours and hours a day. It's ironic that he was accused of not communicating, because I know for a fact that he is in constant communication with me, the delegation, and members of this body at various times. He works exhaustively on this for us. Sometimes he has other clients, and sometimes I feel guilty because I know I'm monopolizing his time. But he does it cheerfully, willfully, and with a great deal of dedication. And I'm going to say, I can't imagine us having somebody fight better for us in Nashville than Will Denami. And we all made a splendid choice when we selected him to represent our interests, because he is loyal, he is dutiful, he is faithful, and he has an uncompromising work ethic. And I think that's all we can ask for. Nobody can predict the results or the outcome, but to challenge him by name, saying that he has not been in communication or have not been effective, is not the case. On this particular topic, I want to ask each one of you a question, and this is a sincere question. They talked a lot about communication last night and how there wasn't effective communication. I'm here to tell you, I've been trying to talk to the delegation for a long, long time about this, months. I know some of you have. I know that for a fact. I know Commissioner Harris has. I know Commissioner Phillips has. I know Commissioner Beverly has. I know several of you have. And I know that in each one of those cases, you have reached out to them. You know how I know that? Because you've told me. My question to you is this: how many times has our delegation picked up the phone and called any one of you or me and said, Commissioner, Mayor, we understand the problem that we as a community are in. We understand the challenges that you have about trying to find funding to deal with this growth. We want to help you. We want to help you solve this problem. How can we do that together? I'm going to tell you, I've never received that phone call. And I dare say you probably haven't either received that phone call. If you have, I'm grateful that you have. But the matter of fact is, communication, which is extremely important, if not vital to this effort, is a two-way street. And they represent the same people, as Commissioner Phillips said last night, they represent the same people we represent. The exact same people. They represent the same people with the same interest that you and I have and that they have. And I am really pleased, and I want to acknowledge this particular individual. I am really pleased with Senator Shane Reeves stepping forward last night and saying he is going to pick up the ball, he's going to pick up the mantle, and he's going to carry the torch on behalf of this county. Not realizing where it may end, but he is willing to do that. And he deserves our support and thanks, because that's a big deal to this county. That, Chairman Phillips, is where we've been trying to get to for quite some time. And we got there last night. And so I say that again to recognize Chairman Harris's efforts, Chairman Phillips' efforts, and your efforts. We have an excellent piece of legislation here. Will Denami and I believe we can pass this bill. we believe we can pass this bill. But to the remarks by Chairman Harris a few minutes ago, if they want us to communicate with them, let's communicate with them. Let's go to Nashville. Let's knock on their door. Let's let them know that we're there. Let's be respectful. Let's be cordial. But let's stand firm on the fact that we deserve the same authority that other counties and the cities within Rutherford County have. Finally, and I'll wrap up, the third component was that this morning we held a press conference. And the press conference, or the media release, as Lisa Kay likes me to say, she doesn't like me to say press conference. She likes media release. The media release was announcing helprutherford.org. Helprutherford.org is a website where the citizens of Rutherford County can go and express their point of view, which is really important because we've not done this before. And I'll be honest with you, and let me just, can I do a shout out, Commissioner?
You can. You have the floor.
Well, shout outs are typical for commissioners, so I don't want to usurp anybody's authority here. But for the last 30 days, the OIT department has done a phenomenal job in putting together the program out at the chamber. That was a big deal to pack up and move the broadcast services from here and put those in at the chamber, and there wasn't a single technological hiccup, not one. It was flawless. And if you've not seen the video, I suggest you watch it. It was remarkable, the work they did. And that was like a 3-4 day advance effort too, I might add. Then they designed this website. And it's a splendid website, and I'll describe it in just a second. And then they put together this media presentation today, and Lisa Kay has done an absolutely phenomenal job in the last 30 days. So your IT department has performed above and beyond my expectations, and I couldn't be more proud of what they did. Not coincidentally, I don't think, Cody York, the OIT director, sent me a text this morning and says I'm going on vacation next week. So it's well deserved. But with regard to Help Rutherford, helprutherford.org is a website that basically starts off with a survey, and it says, do you believe that growth should pay for itself? If you say yes, it's asking you to sign a petition. If you say no, it's asking you if you'd like to send a letter to your delegation saying, I do not support the authority of Rutherford County to have what other counties and cities have, and maybe imposing impact fees or development taxes. That's an authority we have to decide at a later date. That's not in this survey, obviously, because we don't have that authority yet, or you don't have that authority yet. Then if you say, after you sign that petition and take a second survey, it takes you directly where you have the opportunity to send a message to your state rep or state senator. I am pleased to announce, and I am almost done, Mr. Chairman. Let me get this, because I get alerts on this twice a day, but I am pleased to announce as of 5:30 this afternoon, we have had over 2,200 respondents in 2 weeks to the website. We've had 2,173 individuals sign the petition, and we've had 50 people say no. So that's a phenomenal response in a little over 2 weeks. And so to all of you who have been a part of that and allowing the citizens, regardless of your position on the issue, that is a vehicle for your voice to be heard. And I was really pleased with OIT because even after this issue is behind us, and God willing, that will be soon, Help Rutherford is going to be a website going forward that we can communicate issues of relevance and importance to our community. So again, a huge shout out to Cody York and the OIT team and Lisa Kay. And Mr. Chairman, I will entertain questions if there are any, but if not, I'll be glad to sit down.
Questions for the mayor?
Perfect.
Go sit down.
Almost.
First of all, Mayor, thank you. I appreciate it. I guess my question to you is, I was so busy trying to keep everybody online and struggling, I didn't hear some things. So I want to say this about Will Denabi. That presentation, though it was long, it's worth watching. I mean, I've been here for 6 years, and there were some things in there I didn't know. So it is worth watching. You should watch it. I I kind of felt like Shane Reeves was wanting to help us.
I would
but
agree.
I did not get that feeling on the other ones. And I thought Charlie would help us, but then we talked about the school facilities tax, and I want to step up here with you and tell you how disappointed I was in what they were offering. And it's not going to help us at all. I mean, it'd help us with some revenue, but it wouldn't help us, you know, that $1.50 is, that's ridiculous. But,
Chairman Harris, on that point, if I may, if we can just kind of have a dialogue just real quick on that. And I think your points have a lot of merit because, and please don't sit down because I want to continue this conversation if that's okay. But the proposal by Representative Rudd is DOA. I know that for a fact. And so I'm not sure if he doesn't know that, or I don't know, or he was unaware of that. But the fact of the matter is, the going from $1 to $1.50 is going to require the Tennessee General Assembly to propose a 50% tax increase. Now, you tell me, who's going to propose and pass and vote on a 50% tax increase? It is DOA. So I'm not sure what he was negotiating there, but they were all correct in saying that if this is a statewide issue, it's going to be a very difficult task for us to complete, which is the point of the legislation. This isn't a statewide issue. We're asking for a local bill that only impacts Rutherford County. And the way Will Denami and I have structured this bill, quite honestly, is pretty good. It's pretty sound.
Yeah, and like I said, I think, hey, we got to unite. We got to be together. The legislative and the executive branch has to be together, and we got to stay on this. The only way this is going to happen is if we put forth and start writing to them, start calling them. And he is correct. They are elected by the same people who elect you. We represent the same people they represent. I think that's what a lot of y'all are not seeing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Harris. Any other questions for the mayor? Other comments? Thank you. Let me just kind of follow up on that. Last year we finally decided we got to first base. If our legislative delegation carries a bill for us, or agrees to carry a bill for us, which they appear to be doing, that's second base. And if they do introduce a bill to Nashville, we have actually touched third base. And to score a run will be up to the state, and we've done all that we can possibly do. So if we get to third base, it's been a dream come true for this commissioner. So thank you for your efforts. The steering committee meeting last night, although there seemed to be some disagreement on some issues, was the best legislative delegation steering committee that I've ever attended. Answers to questions, even though that some of them were negative, they were answers to questions, and those are the type of things that, to me, leads to an effective communication process. So, thank you. Help Rutherford, Commissioner Cush, how long does it take? The survey? Less than 2 minutes. So, pass the word. Would like to see actually several thousand people take that survey. We're off to a really good start. Other business? Any other business? Commissioner P.
I had a couple of announcements I'd like to make. I know we've got an executive session coming up.
This is the time to do it.
All right. First thing I want to remind all of us that our ethics report required by the state is due by the 31st. Please don't forget to do that. The other thing I want to mention is something kind of close to my heart, and it's Red Cross. I'd like to see a show of hands. How many folks in here give blood? Hey, I'm liking what I see there. It's not easy to do for everybody. It's something you gotta dedicate yourself to do that with. But anyway, the Red Cross nationally has a severe shortage. They have 20% fewer donors than they have had in the past, and that's attributing to that shortage. But I would urge all of you to please consider giving to the Red Cross. And you can meet me there tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the Red Cross building if you can get an appointment. But thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner P. Other business, any other things? How about shout outs? Any shout outs? I'd just like to kind of give one to Commissioner James. It was really good to see the audience out there and our young people. Don't care who educates them as long as they're getting the education that is acceptable to all of us. It was really good to see that young audience in attendance experiencing some our legislative government body at work. So thank you, Commissioner James, for bringing those folks here. Good job. Other shout outs?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Johnson.
For several months now, I've been going by G Street in Smyrna 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week to see the progress. If you're unfamiliar with it, G Street is where we moved the convenience center to off of Weekly Road. Last year, I think it was the week after Christmas, we had like 6 wrecks out there on people trying to get in from where we moved from. This year we had 0 accidents. I did have somebody complain and said they didn't feel safe out there waiting on G Street. I said, did you feel safe on Weekly? No. And I didn't either. I'm proud to say we've opened that. We actually opened on the 19th of December. Today we had the ribbon cutting to officially open it. Nobody was there dumping trash because it's closed. But it's a great facility. Please come out. But don't expect to dump your trash in 5 minutes. If you do that, you're probably going to be disappointed. Sometimes it can take an hour. My first trip out there after opening day, I worked out there. The first time I took my trash out and recycle, it was an hour, but that's okay. There was 25 cars in front of me inside and about 15 outside on the street. Second time I went, it was 45 minutes. Just the other day I went, it was 30 minutes. It's getting better. And I'm going at peak times. So I know it's getting better. So anyone that goes to G Street to recycle, for one thing, please use G Street to enter. Don't use the other streets off of Weekly Lane. It's better to come off of Sam Ridley onto G Street. It's a straight shot. We only take number 1 and number 2 plastics. Please separate before you get there. We take number 1, number 2 plastics. We take cans, whether they're aluminum or steel. We also take steel, big pieces of steel if you want to recycle that, but you don't throw it in the dumpsters where the trash is. You go on through. The attendants will tell you where to go, but we have a place for that too, also in glass and cardboard. But all of our 1s and 2 plastics, and cardboard and cans, and all your paper, not foil, but paper, goes in the same container. But please separate before you get there. It helps a lot. Thank you.
That's a little glimpse of what our future is going to be like, you guys. Get used to it. Anything else? Come to the end of our agenda. We're going to go into executive session, so I'll ask everyone except the commission and our attorneys to please exit the courtroom. We're going to take about a 2-minute break. I'd like to call everyone's attention to our agenda. We've had an executive session, and someone would like to open the doors and tell our county clerk and whoever else is still present to come back in. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for being patient and letting us discuss a legal matter in executive session. And to kind of explain what the executive session was about, I'll call on our county attorney, Nick Christensen, to highlight.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, if the commission recalls, last month you authorized us to engage in negotiations with our former excess insurance carrier in certain litigation that we filed against them involving a claim that was denied. Those efforts proved successful, at least in principle, and we relayed to this commission the terms of that proposed settlement and have recommended that you accept it. And so that's the extent of the discussion, the information that was provided. Thank you.
So once again, we're back in session. The chair will entertain any motions. Chairman Pro-Tem Trey Gooch.
Thank you. This motion that I have concerns the ongoing litigation and settlement negotiations that our attorneys have been involved in with the county's previous insurance, Lloyd of London, as it relates to the potential insurance coverage for the GERT litigation, and about which our attorneys have provided information to us in the executive session. It appears that there may be an opportunity to settle the county's claim against Britt Lloyds of London. Thus, I move that this commission authorize our attorneys to enter into said settlement with Britt Lloyds of London as it relates to the GERT's litigation insurance matter, consistent with the parameters recommended by them during the executive session, subject to review and approval of the final written settlement agreement by the Rutherford County's attorneys in all aspects. I so move, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? For this will be on the board. If you would, commissioners, please cast your vote.
Anyone that did not vote and wishes to vote, or anyone who would like to change your vote, you may do so now.
Record the vote.
20 yes, 1 abstain.
Motion passes. Thank you. Once again, this brings us to the end of our meeting, and I would like to thank the commission once again for your attendance, your participation more than anything else. It's meaningful to the citizens of the county, and it's meaningful to your chair. Thank you. Happy New Year, and see you at our committees. We're adjourned.